Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Shay's in the building, and I got a little something for you all. Fantasy football fanatics out there. We ain't talking about no maybe, no what if, no hypotheticals. Nah. We talking about Caleb Williams, the prodigal son of the Windy City, and why this young man is about to set your fantasy league on fire in 2025. Now listen up, sit back, relax, grab your protein shake or your Hennessy, whichever side of the fence you on, 'cause this gon' be a masterclass. Caleb Williams came into the NFL with the type of expectations that make grown men crumble. Number one pick, Heisman winner, franchise savior, and more importantly to you all, your fantasy QB sleeper pick in 2024. And you know what? He didn't disappoint. Now hold up, don't get it twisted. I ain't say he was out there throwing 40 TEDs and running wild like Lamar. But what he showed us, maturity, poised, and something fantasy owners been big in rookies to deliver for years, protecting the dang football. This man went 354 pass attempts without an interception. 354! That's an NFL rookie record. That's a Bears franchise record. That's grown man football, y'all. He finished as QB 16 in fantasy, but here's the kicker. 5 of those weeks he was a top 6 fantasy QB. That means you got flashes. He was cooking. Just needed the kitchen remodel. Fantasy football is about points. I don't care if you're a Bears fan or a Packers fan, if your QB ain't throwing touchdowns, you losing money. And that's where Caleb hit the wall in 2024. The Bears offense? Flat, vanilla, drier than Popeye's biscuits with no water. Caleb only had 18 passing touchdowns. That ain't enough. That's like driving a Ferrari in a school zone. You got the horsepower, but you can't unleash it. So who's to blame? Not Caleb. That offensive line? Leaking like a bad faucet? That receiving course? DJ Moore was balling? But everybody else? MIA at play calling? Don't get me started. Let me tell y'all something. The Bears front office took one look at 2024 and said, never again. Step 1. Hire Ben Johnson as head coach. The same Ben Johnson who turned Jared Goff into a Pro Bowl caliber QB again. He's young, he's creative, and he's aggressive. You know what that means? Touchdowns. Step 2. Rebuild the offensive line. Ain't no fantasy QB successful behind a busted line. Ask David Carr. Step 3. Weapon. They went and drafted Colston Loveland, a dynamic tight end with hands like DeAndre Hopkins and speed like a slot receiver. Then they added Luther Burden III, a certified yak monster with set pedigree. Now you got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Loveland Burden, and even Darnell Mooney still lurking. Let's be real. On paper, this offense ready to explode like fireworks on the 4th of July. Here's the thing. Caleb got the tools. The arm? NFL ready. The mobility? Slippery like a greased-up pig. The instincts? You can't teach him. And when you give a man like that the proper scheme, the protection and the weapons, he ain't just gon' thrive. He gon' ball. I'm talking 4,000 passing yards. I'm talking 40 total touchdowns. I'm talking top 8 fantasy QB with top 5 upside. Ben Johnson's scheme is designed for red zone domination and deep play action bombs. That means points, and more points. Adding Caleb's rushing upside, he could sneak in 4-6 rushing touchdowns easy. And now you're looking at a fantasy football cheat code. I already hear all. Shay. What about Mahomes? What about Hurts? What about Lamar? And you right. Them boys are elite, but they cost a pretty penny on draft day. And if you're playing smart, Caleb Williams gonna be sitting there in round 6 or 7, waiting to bless your roster. He ain't gonna cost you a first-round pick, but he might just give you first-round production. You ever heard of value? That's what fantasy championships are made of. Let me talk about the kid for a second. Caleb Williams ain't just talented. He's wired different. He studies tape like Brady, throws on the run like Rodgers, and moves in the pocket like Mahomes. That's not hyperbole. That's scouting. He wants to be great. He's pissed about how 2024 ended. He's in that facility before the janitor, and he's out after the sun goes down. You want that kind of dog on your fantasy team. Compare Caleb Williams to the breakout second seasons of guys like Patrick Mahomes, 2018, Justin Herbert, 2021, or Lamar Jackson, 2019. Emphasize how each of those QBs made the leap from potential to elite once the team tailored the offense around them. Ben Johnson's fantasy boosting track record mentioned how Ben Johnson turned Jared Goff into a fantasy-relevant QB in Detroit. Highlight Johnson's ability to design red zone packages, misdirection plays, and downfield shots, all of which convert to fantasy gold. Improved red zone efficiency. Explain how Chicago ranked near the bottom in red zone efficiency in 2024, and how better scheme personnel in 2025 should result in more touchdowns, not field goals. More touchdowns, more points for Williams. Stack potential for DFs in season-long leagues. Talk about stacking Williams with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, or rookie Luther Burden III for tournament-winning upside. High ceiling stacks are key in best ball and DraftKings lineup. Rushing floor is underrated. Remind readers, viewers, that Williams isn't just a pocket passer. He can give you 30-40 rushing yards per game. That's like a free passing touchdown worth of fantasy points every week. Favorable fantasy playoff schedule. Once the 2025 schedule is analyzed deeper, break down weeks 15-17 matchups. Playoff time. If the Bears are facing weak secondaries late in the year, that's a huge reason to draft Williams and stash him. Low turnover. Safe floor fantasy managers love consistency. Highlight how Williams' ball security, record-breaking no-int stretch, gives him a solid weekly floor. He won't kill your week with a 4-turnover meltdown. New weapon. Colston Loveland's tight end advantage. Many fantasy owners overlook tight ends as valuable for QBs. Loveland could be a red zone monster and security blanket that boosts Williams' completion percentage and TD rate. Weights. Volume tempo. Increase. If Ben Johnson increases pace of play, more no-huddle, fewer time-consuming drives, Williams could get 5-7 more pass attempts per game. More volume, more fantasy chances. Narrative momentum and fantasy draft. Psychology fantasy. Drafts are driven by hype and trends. If Williams shows even one strong preseason game or early week 1-2 performance, his ABP, average draft position, could skyrocket. Smart managers should target him early before the bandwagon arrives. So here's the deal. Come August, when you sitting there with your fantasy draft board and your cousin Ray talking about taking Aaron Rodgers in the 3rd round, you look him in the eye and say, I'm taking Caleb Williams, and I'm winning this league. Because all the signs are there. Q by 16 as a rookie 5 top 6 fantasy week's new coach. Better line, more weapons, historical poise, limited turnover, sky-high ceiling in 2025. You draft him. You start him. You reap the rewards. And when you hold up that fantasy trophy come December, just remember who told you first. Who and out.